What is up, guys? Welcome back to another WTF Sports video. We're doing our week 15 preview this week. We're moving along. Season is almost coming to an end and it is crazy. It's just me today. Mason is out getting stuff done, so he cannot be here. But let's get into it. All right, yeah, and as I said, we're doing our week 15 preview. We've done these every week. If you like this kind of stuff, like, subscribe. You can go watch our old ones, which doesn't make as much sense as waiting for the new ones to come out, but you can do whatever you want. It helps us either way. But moving on, we're going to start with our fantasy starts. Last week, our team put up, I think, 158, and that's from our best options. That's what we kind of use to score ourselves, I guess. And our good options are more of our, like, not, I guess this week is a kind of higher end people, but usually they're not as, like, high end as the best options. But for our best options, I think Joe Burrow is going to be the best quarterback this week. He's playing the Ravens, and Ravens have not looked good. And I think either way, it's going to be a shootout. So why not take him? Then CMC and Bucky Irving are my running backs. CMC is playing the Titans, and Bucky Irving is playing the Falcons. So I think those two are just great picks. JSN is playing the Colts, whose defense is just injured and weak right now. It's JSN. He's never not going to be there. And then Jamar Chase, I have him to go with Joe Burrow, though I think T. Higgins could actually be like just as good. So either way, I don't think either Bengals receiver would be a bad pick. Then for tight end, I have Trey McBride. He's playing the Texans, who is probably a top 5 defense in the league, maybe better than that. But Trey McBride's the best tight end in the league, so you kind of gotta work with what you get. And then Saquon Barkley is my flex. You're thinking to yourself, why are we putting Saquon Barkley on a fantasy start list? Why not? He had a good week last week. We learned that Jalen Hurts can't pass the ball. Well, we didn't learn that. We knew that. We've been saying that. But now people are starting to realize he sucks. So me and Mason have been saying that for 2 years now. But yeah, Saquon Barkley, he's projected 16. I think he gets 20. He's playing the Raiders. They suck. Seahawks defense, Jason Myers, who is the Seahawks kicker. We're playing the Colts. Even with Phillip Rivers at quarterback, not even with, he hasn't played a snap in 5 years, right? I'm excited to see what happens there. It'll be fun. As like a football fan, I think it's going to be interesting and pretty fun to watch. For your good options, right? I think Dak Prescott and Matthew Stafford are both going to be great stars this week. Stafford's playing the Lions, which always ends up being a great game, but it's Matthew Stafford regardless, so he's going to play good. And then the Cowboys playing the Vikings, who either will score 0 or let up 0. So it's kind of hit or miss, but I think Dak gets it done. He's probably top 5 quarterback right now. Then Chase Brown, Rico Dowdle, and James Cook are my running backs this week. Chase Brown has a great match against the Ravens. Again, weak defense. Rico Dowdle is playing the Saints. He hasn't been that great these past few weeks, but I think he comes back off a bye week and just boom, hits him, And then James Cook is playing the Patriots. This is just a really important game for playoff stuff for them, so I believe that he kind of balls out. Like I said, T. Higgins earlier is going to be a great start. Rome Odunze, they're playing the Browns. I think Browns are probably going to blocking down their number 1 and their number 1 and number 2 options, so I think Rome kind of sneaks in there. And then Michael Wilson, he's been a dog these past couple weeks. He's only projected 10 points, but I'm pretty sure he's gotten like 30 or like 20s at least these past few weeks. And with how much Jacoby Brissett passes, I think he's gonna just keep that up. And they're playing the Texans, who is a good defense, but still, I think he gets it done. Then Jake Ferguson and Mike Gesicki are going to be my tight ends this week. Gesicki's playing the Ravens. I don't need to go any further into that. Ferguson is playing the Vikings with Dak Prescott. It's kind of the same thing. It's either they're going to do a lot or they're going to do nothing. And then for the defenses, I think the Texans and the 49ers. Okay. Oh my goodness, excuse me. I think the Texans and the 49ers are great picks. 49ers, again, are playing the Titans. It should be pretty easy for them. And the Texans are playing the Cardinals, who just don't do much. They're not like a heavy turnover team, but I think that's going to be a good pick. Now moving on to our winners this week. This is what the juicy said. This is what you're here for. Last week was our first week in so long under 10 correct picks. I think we went 6 and 8 last week, really bad. We're going to step it up this week. We're going to go 16 for 16 this week. So starting off, we have the Bucks beating the Falcons. Falcons just do not look good. The Bucks don't look that great either, though. So I'm in a weird spot right now with these two teams. Like I almost think the Falcons can win this, but I don't know. It's a toss-up. Let's be real, but I'm gonna have the Bucks winning that. Ravens Bengals is also kind of a toss-up, but I think considering how well the Bengals played against the Bills, The Ravens are much worse than the Bills in my opinion, so I think the Bengals should be able to get that done. But Ravens have looked bad. Lamar has looked really bad recently. Eagles are playing the Raiders. Though I don't think the Eagles look amazing, they're playing the Raiders. I'm not going to get the Raiders to win. I don't think the Eagles are good. Let me get that clarified. I really don't. They're overrated. Cardinals are playing the Texans. Texans are going to win that. They should win that pretty easily. Texans have been really good, so I think they win that. Just because their defense, let's be real, is great defense. I'm sorry, I'm tired. I'm thinking about this next team here, the Chiefs. They make me sleepy because they suck. Let me. Mason texted me. Okay, Mason agreed with these picks. I just had to double check on that. Chiefs play the Chargers. Chargers looked pretty terrible this past week. Chiefs also looked terrible this last week. So it's like, who's gonna win? Chiefs did terrible. Mahomes looked horrible last. Not really. Actually, it was his team just not being able to catch. But I have the Chiefs winning this. They're at home. I guess. I think the Chargers can win, so don't take that one fully for the Chiefs. Bills Patriots. This is a really big game for the Bills, I'm pretty sure. Patriots the Patriots. They've been cooking. They have been cooking, and I think Patriots win this one. They're in New England, and actually I think Buffalo is technically in New England too, if you're looking at it. But I think the Patriots win this at Gillette, and I don't think it stomps. I'm pretty sure it does not stomp the Bills' playoff hopes. I think it just kind of puts them down to a wild card or further down in the wild cards. But I think the Bills lose that game, and then the Jags are playing the Jets. It's the Jets. Giants are playing the Commanders, who the Commanders have looked horrible. They scored 0 points against the Vikings. So we're gonna give that to the Giants coming off a bye. Bears are playing the Browns. I think the Browns could win this game. I don't think they will. Right? Shadur has been pretty good. He actually has been really good. But he made a game against the Titans look like it was like a kind of a showdown kind of game. The Bears are much better than the Titans. So I think the Bears should win this, though they could kind of fall on themselves and lose it. And then the Panthers are playing the Saints. Actually, the Saints won against the Bucks last week, but the Panthers have looked pretty good. Rams are playing the Lions. Always one of my favorite games. Don't know why we have Vikings Cowboys in primetime and not Lions Rams, but Lions Rams are always a great game. Always love watching that. So I think that'll be a good one. I got that going to the Rams actually because I think they're the better. I know they're the better team, and Stafford kind of owns the Lions. I feel like in their games they play. Seahawks Colts. I don't think it matters who plays at quarterback for the Colts. Even if Daniel Jones is still healthy, I'd still give this to the Seahawks. The Colts are very injured on defense, and their offense is kind of losing steam. And Seahawks are just keeping everything up. We look great this year. But even if Phillip Rivers does play, which I think will be so fun and funny and interesting and cool, it'll just be everything. I think that'll be great to see. Packers Broncos honestly could go either way. I would not. Tired. I would not be surprised if the Packers won this game. I think the Broncos win. And then the 49ers Titans. It's the Titans. I mean, they got to win this last week to the Browns. But the 49ers win that. Vikings Cowboys. Vikings are so hit or miss right now. The Cowboys have one of the best offenses in the league. I don't think the Cowboys really struggle in this one. They should win it pretty easily. Because they lost the Lions last week, but they also had beaten the Eagles and the Chiefs the weeks before. So I don't think the Vikings is that hard of a game for them. And then the Steelers Dolphins Monday. Again, these primetime games this week are horrible. I really don't know why we have Bills Patriots, Ravens Bengals, Lions Rams, Colts Seahawks, and none of them are primetime. We had Dolphins Steelers, Vikings Cowboys, and Falcons Bucks. But what can you do? But yes, I got the Steelers beating the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins could win this one too, but let's give it to the Steelers. They're actually fighting for their life for the playoffs right now. So, yeah. And then I'm wrapping it up with our parlay legs for the week. Last week we went 4-4, 3-5, one of the two of those. But this week we're hoping to do better. Again, this is not gambling advice. Don't, you know the drill. I suck at sports betting, so this is just for fun. Joe Burrow, 259.5 yards. I think he smashes that. He got like 300 last week. I'm assuming he gets over 300 again this week. Drake May, 232.5. I think he hits like 250. He's playing the Bills. It's going to be a pretty big game. Probably going to need to be passing a lot. He might break 300. Who knows? Shadur Sanders, 185. I feel like he can get way over that. He's been pretty good these past couple weeks. And I think he hits at least 200. I mean, that's not crazy. And yeah, the Bears are a good team, but at the same time, I think it might actually be a very pass-heavy game. Then Phillip Rivers, I was looking through these, and I saw a Phillip Rivers line. I was like, I got to take that. 152 yards. He's got like 300 in his last game a few years ago. Why not? That's 3 big passes, and he gets it. So, 152, why not? I think it's one of the best defenses. I think it's probably the best defense in the league. And then the Bucks Falcons. I got three Buccaneers picks for this one. Bucky Irving higher than 61.5 rushing yards. Emeka Ibuka higher than 47.5 receiving, and Mike Evans higher than 8.55 fantasy points. This is his first game back. He needs like 200 some a game to hit his 1,000 yards in a season. Will he get it? No. May he? He might. And then Jacoby Brissett higher than 37.5 pass attempts. I don't think he's had under 40 in the past 5 games. He passes so much. So, yeah, I mean, that's our fantasy, our parlay picks. But yeah, if you like what you watch, like, comment, subscribe. It's free. It'll help us out. It helps us get further in the algorithm and whatnot, all that fun stuff. And yeah, see you in the next one. Later.